Yo, 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 yo.
Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo.
Ant has gone beardless.
I've gone beardless. I
How does
have.
it feel?
It feels very weird. I literally only did it like an hour ago. And
Feeling fresh.
I feel, I look like a 5-year-old. I look like I might get refused alcohol. Yeah, it feels very strange. It's the first time I've had a full shave in like 7 years. So,
Did you do Home Alone?
mate, I did. I had to stop the bleeding. I was bleeding like crazy. I hacked away at my face.
Yeah, he does. He does look younger. So we've got Barry. Thanks for joining us, mate. Nige, how
How's
we
it
doing, mate?
going? It's been a while. It has been a while. It's
It
been a
has
minute.
been a while. It
How
has
has it
been a
been? What,
while.
three weeks?
Yeah,
3 weeks? Has
3
it been
weeks.
at least 3 weeks now.
Look about 12. It's that baby face, Ant. It's that baby face.
That's why I need to grow it. That's why I grow the beard so that I actually get like allowed in places where I actually should be allowed in. Like, I'm a 30-year-old man and I'm in danger of being refused alcohol.
Yes. Yes, Barry. Good, very nice holiday. It was well needed.
You're
So
not as
yeah.
tanned as I thought you were going to be. I thought you were going to be
Well,
like
I think
tan.
I am quite tanned. I think the lighting hides the tan.
Ah.
So yeah, I think if I showed you my white bits, then yeah, you see I'm quite tanned.
Get your white
Uh,
bits out, though.
yeah. So what have you been up to, Anthony?
Mate, I've had a productive 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've not been as busy as you have with your nice
Mm.
holiday in Greece and stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, me and my girlfriend went to Alton Towers yesterday for Scarefest. With it being Halloween, we thought we'll go to Scarefest. It will be a good day out, and yeah, it was fun. We had a great time. We managed to get there after the bad weather, which was nice. So it was a nice autumnal day. We got on some rides in the dark. We did the scare mazes, which were awesome. It got to about 9-ish. Luke, how's it going? We got to
Okay,
about
Luke.
9 o'clock, and we'd said, you know what, we're going to go home now because it takes about an hour to get home. So we thought we'll go home now. We'll go home. We'll put on a scary movie and we'll go to bed. Whatever. Get to my car, and I've got a key that when I get near my car, it activates. So I just have to press the unlock button, and I was pressing the button. Nothing was happening. I was pressing the button again. Nothing was happening. Checked my pockets. Yeah, my car key's not there anymore. My car key fell out of my pocket, my coat pocket on a ride, and we were stranded at Alton Towers at 10 o'clock at night without a car, no way to get home. Rang the breakdown cover, but because we were so far away from home, the cover that I had didn't cover it unless I was going to pay like another extra like 180, 200 quid. So I was like, what do we do? My house keys were in my car that I couldn't get into. My girlfriend's keys were in my house, so we couldn't get her keys. So we were like, what do we do? Cut a long story short, it took us about 2 hours, but we ended up getting an Uber from Alton Towers to just outside of Leicester, where
Oh my
my
God.
girlfriend lives, which cost me £65. And then that was just to get home. And then we got obviously there, went to bed, and then we woke up this morning that we're at her house. Neither of us have got a car. My car's at Alton Towers in Stafford. Her car is at my house in Nottingham. How do we do it? So my brother ended up coming to go get us, take us to go get my spare key, which luckily wasn't in my house. So I managed to get a spare key for my car. we got Caroline's spare key to get her car. She drove us to Alton Towers and then got my car and drove back. But yeah, it was an absolute nightmare, mate. All I wanted to do was go home and watch a scary movie, and yeah, utter nightmare,
Craziness.
utter nightmare. Like it was just, I've not had the best week. Like I've not had the best week,
So,
and I thought
so
I'd
she's going
end
to
on a
keep the keys
high.
now.
Yeah, well, I've given her a spare key. I was just like, just take the key, just in case.
Yeah.
But like, I've not had the best week, and I thought it would be a really nice end to the week. Go to Alton Towers, have some fun, and then that happens. It's an absolute nightmare.
Craziness.
Yes, it was a nightmare. It was horrible. But that's probably like the most eventful thing that's happened in the last kind of like 3 weeks. But it sounds like you've had a better time than I have, mate.
Yeah. So just shout out to Brandon and Katie. Thanks for joining us.
Hey yo.
So I went to Greece in Kos, and we had a bit of the aftermath of the earthquake from Turkey. So we was sat in the restaurant, and I felt like I was a bit pissed. So what's going on? Yeah, the floor was moving, the lights were going. Could see all the sort of waitresses running around, and then we realised we're having a tremor, and then I started getting all these texts saying extreme emergency, tsunami. So it was like, shit.
Oh my god, I bet you're shitting yourself.
Yeah, we was freaking out, and we just kept getting these texts saying, "Don't go to the beach, don't do this, don't do that." And yeah, when you're in a foreign country and you've just got your hotel room to go to, you're like, "Oh shit!" And I think it was just more so when you go to sleep at night, you're like, "Oh, is anything gonna happen when I'm asleep or anything like that?"
Yeah.
But overall, the holiday was really nice. The people were fantastic. You can see the impact that COVID's having in that area. All the shops are shut down and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a shame to see all that. But it was interesting. So when I went for the meals in the evening, so everyone's all had their showers and stuff. It was like a sort of aftershave boutique. Smell all the aftershaves coming in. You're like, oh, that's a nice one. That's a decent one. And I swear that I smelt violet delirium. Apparently,
Really?
Terence Hughes' one. Yeah, I was 100% sure that I could smell that in the restaurant, and my two girls were like, "That smells disgusting. What is that smell?" And I was like, "I'm sure it's that. It smelled nice." But yeah, that's what I thought I could smell, and I ate horrendous amounts of pizza, chips, and at least 2 milkshakes a day. But yeah, when I come home, I'd not put any pounds on, which was good. So I had a few cardio
What?
sessions over
How?
there.
Oh, you worked out. How'd you go on an all-inclusive 2-week holiday and not put on weight?
Yeah, no, I needed to do it because I was 2 slices at lunch, probably 3 or 4 courses in the evening. They were doing ice cream milkshakes, which were amazing. So yeah, they were going down nicely. So yeah, overall, very very nice holiday.
Very nice holiday.
The kids enjoyed it, which was good. So
Yeah.
all good in the hood.
We've got some new people. We've got Caboose in the house.
Caboose.
We've got
How are we
John.
doing? How are we doing, John?
So Nige, it's happening in Nottingham. A lot apparently is happening in Nottingham. It seems like everyone that's ever had COVID-19 is now in Nottingham. Apparently,
Yeah, we've all been staying at each other's houses and
just licking each other. There's been a lot of parties that have been going on in Nottingham, and the police have had to shut them down. And a lot of students have actually been handed out the £10,000 fine.
Yeah,
and they've been fined, and they've also been kicked out of uni or pending investigation at uni as well. So a lot's been happening in Nottingham. But yeah, it just seems like as soon as the uni students came in, it was just like. But we do have 2 universities in Nottingham, though, don't we? So I know that some other places have 2 universities as well. But yeah.
Barry, you'd get denied coming to Nottingham, especially with that Pennywise outfit.
Matt, how's it going? I just seen there you were having a listen while you do some work. Good to see
Oh,
you,
dude,
mate.
Matt, hope you're good, mate. Hope you're good. There's one thing I want to shout out as Matt's on. So him and Dan at Mr. Smelly. I think for me, I think it was the sort of first time that I'd seen a brand send bottles to people who have low subscribers, and it was good to see quite a lot of the UK lot, rather than the big lot, the smaller lot, get involved with receiving bottles and stuff like that, which they didn't need to do. So yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you for that to Matt and Dan, because they didn't need to do it, and I thought it was nice of them to do that for quite a lot of the UK lot. So
Absolutely.
yeah, big thank you.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the comments.
If the election goes south on Tuesday, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome. It sounds like Nottingham sounds like it would be a better place than the States if it does happen the way it could happen.
Hi Scott, thanks for joining us, mate.
Scott, how's it going, mate?
Right, so fragrance rotation. I posted quite a few of mine on Instagram. So one of them, I'd probably say my favorite one that I was wearing was one of Barry's samples, and it was Nautica Voyage.
It's a banger, mate.
Yeah, banger. It was a. While I was on holiday, obviously I'd not tried it that much before, and that's why Barry sent me a sample of it, and in that high heat, it was beautiful. It was nice. It was working. Smelled fresh. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and the performance was great on it. And I think for the price that the bottles are going for, it's a bargain for what it was doing. So yeah, that was one of my favorites on holiday. Was the Nautica Voyage. Obviously, yeah. I love my scent of peace, but with something new that I'd not worn frequently, Nautica was up there.
It's got a really quite addictive smell, hasn't it? Because it's quite an unusual. That cucumbery one is quite unusual, but yeah, it's great. It's great. I got that bottle, mate. So once this is all over, if you don't get yourself a bottle, you can have.
I'm gonna get a bottle. It's definitely bottle worthy, even just for the price alone.
It's only like 15 quid or something like that. So
yeah, really surprised me, to be fair, and yeah, really enjoyed it. I'd probably say like I said, that was one of my favorites on holiday. What you been wearing?
Quite a bit, actually. I've been in love. I've fallen in love.
I know you've been in love,
mate. I've fallen in love. So I got sent a small sample of I think I've mentioned this before, but I've blasted through this sample of Hendon from Rosa Salas. I blasted through this like very, very quickly, and I thought I can't not have it because it smells far too good. So I went and got a bottle of it. It's just amazing, mate. It's just so good, and I think I got the best compliment ever.
Oh, nice.
From that, I walked in to my girlfriend's house, and she didn't realize that I'd walked in. She hadn't heard me walking or anything, so I went in and got into the living room. When she came back downstairs, she was like, I know you're in the house. And I said, what, did you hear me? She went, no, I didn't hear you. I could smell you from upstairs. And I was like, oh, is it bad? She was like, no. It was like all of a sudden I could smell this incredible smell, and she was like, and I knew what it was, and you were in the house.
Take me.
Yes. And I was there like, okay. No, so but yeah, like it was it's amazing. Like she could smell me from upstairs. So
is it a summer scent or winter scent?
No, it's Leighton. It's basically it's
right, okay.
Leighton. So it's perfect for this time of year. especially when it gets a bit colder as well, because it's quite a sweet. The vanilla in it's really quite strong, which is probably why I love it so much. But it's really, really strong, and it projects like a monster.
Yeah.
It just works, mate. For me, it's just incredible. So that's why I had to get like a message, Vitor, like after it was, I was about halfway through the sample, and I said to him, like, I know that I'm going to burn through this so quickly. So I need to order a bottle. Have you got any in stock? And he was like, yeah. I was like, right, I'm getting it ordered. So yes, Barry. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Duty free, Barry, was horrendous. The prices were probably the same as what the high street is, or probably even more.
Really?
There was no, yeah, it was the airport I was in. It was dead small. It was like a little room, and they were cramping hundreds of people in there. People were sitting on the floor, lying down. Yeah, it wasn't a big airport, and yeah, there was literally nothing in there, which I was disappointed in. I wanted to go to an airport and have a sniff of some new fragrances and stuff like that, and it was just, yeah, it was all rubbish and crap prices. So yeah, not too great. I recently got, which I did a quick review on. So this was the Alexandria version of Annie.
Oh yeah.
Which is Hanny. So yeah, I didn't take this on holiday because I thought if I lose my case, no, not even that. If I lose my case, then I'll be pissed if some of my sort of decent fragrances go missing or break or what have you. And that's why I took sort of samples and bottles that are pretty old. So I took like my Issey Miyake, which only had like a little amount in. But yeah, really enjoying that. Smells very similar to the original. And I think, as I said in my review, I think it's a bit more heavier on the ginger rather than the vanilla. So the vanilla's there, it's prominent, but I think Annie is more lean towards the vanilla than the ginger. But yeah, definitely still worth it. It's still got that scent. But yeah, really nice, really nice.
So I've been speaking of Matt, I hope he's still listening. I've been busting these two bad boys as well.
Oh yes,
it's hard to kind of get the angle right, but mate, like I just can't decide which I love better. Like they're just both so good, so good. Like,
Gourmand, it will always be my baby.
I think Gourmand is. I think this is better for me. This is better for this time of year, simply because of just how, just the coffee and the caramel and everything like that. Because it's just really sweet, isn't it? It's like it's like, oh fuck, it's so good, but it's like perfect for this time of year, and it's got that nice. To me, it's not listed in it, but I've said this to Matt before, that I smell, when I think it's a mixture of the pear that cuts through it as well, that it comes across almost kind of minty. There's like a mentholy kind of aroma to it, like towards the end of it. And I think it's just incredible. It's a really cooling effect to it as well, which is probably why it works as well in warmer climate. But I think for this weather, this is it's just incredible. It's just incredible. Like, it's that good. Like, I almost want to drink it. I mean, I'm not going to, obviously, but it's like, I just want to drink it. But this, like, I feel like, this, you know, when the weather starts warming up, I know we're only just getting into the really cold months, but when we come out the warmer side, getting into spring and into summer, I feel like I'm going to be absolutely hammering this.
Yeah.
It's just.
He's running low apparently, so we need to get the backups in.
Who?
I think Purple Gourmand is running low.
Oh no, I think he was talking about Vitor.
Right, okay.
With the Hendon, yeah, that's what I said to when I said to him, "Have you got any in stock?" He said yes, but he says I have now. But I'm having to
Yeah,
order in new stuff because it's that popular. So
yeah.
he's yeah, I don't think you'll be able to get it at the minute.
Hi,
Fuck.
Heather.
Hello.
Yo, yo, yo. Cool. So, what films and TV have we been watching?
Mate, I've been watching a lot.
I have as well. I had a right good plane ride with lots of. I did the sort of offline on Netflix, so I just downloaded loads of shit. So I could just. It was about a 4 hour flight,
Yeah.
and it just went dead fast with me watching it. Do you want to go over some of the stuff you've watched?
Yeah, man. Let me find it. Okay. So I've been watching last time we were talking, I'd been watching this a little bit. I got through a couple of the first episodes and stuff like that, and I managed to watch it all the way through. I quite enjoyed it actually. It was I say I enjoyed it. I'll retract that a little bit. I enjoyed it to start off with, and then towards the end, I got annoyed at it because I felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. Like at the start, it
Okay.
very much started off kind of like quite horror-y, quite in your face, quite ghosty and scary. And then towards the end of it, I was like, it felt more like a happy, kind of joyful family kind of thing. And I'm like, with like kind of like scary elements added to it. And I was just like, it annoyed it, but it soured it a little bit because I really quite enjoyed it at the start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, come on, just stay with it. But yeah, the ending just kind of annoyed me a little bit. But overall, it was good. I've not started. I've tried to start watching Bly Manor, but I've just not been able to get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I think because I'm still a little bit annoyed with the first season. I'm just probably going to give it a couple of months maybe before I watch the next
Okay.
one. But yeah, I'm not really that. I've heard
It'll
it's
be a
not
bit
as
of a
good.
backup show.
Yeah, I've heard it's not as good as as Hill House anyway. But yeah, so I'll probably get around to watching it eventually, but not right now.
Lizzie, Jan Foley. One of my shows at the minute. This has been my favorite show on Netflix, and I'll probably say it's up there with one of my favorite shows ever. And this is Kingdom. I absolutely love this show. From looking at the poster, you think, "Oh, what the hell is this?" And it has a MMA background to it, but it's when you watch it, that's sort of secondary. It's hidden behind the scenes, and it's more of a drama. And it has loads of elements to it. So, talking about drug addiction, like sexuality, loads of topics in there where you think, how the hell have they sort of fitted this into this program? And Frank Grillo, one of the guys who plays Frank Grillo's son, he's absolutely amazing in this show. And he looks like Robert Patrick T1000, spitting image of him. But yeah, easily one of my favorite shows. I blasted through all 3 seasons, and I'm dying for a season 4. And I'm going to do a review on that show coming soon. So yeah, really enjoyed that.
Frank
Have you watched
Grillo's a bit
anything
of a
else?
beast, isn't he? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He's a proper beast. I'll go over. I had a bit of a Frank Grillo session on the plane.
So what else did I watch? So sticking with TV, I managed to get in second season of this bad boy, The Boys.
The boys, the boys.
The Boys. So it's been a while since I'd watched the first season. Obviously, I watched the first season when it came out, and I couldn't really remember much of it, which I'm quite surprised at because I can remember really quite enjoying it. There's obviously
You
certain
just
moments
remembered
that
the
I can
gills.
remember. Oh, mate, that's weird. I remember like certain bits, but not all of it. So I had to do a bit of a recap of season 1, but season 2, it's good. It's good. I really quite enjoyed it. They like blowing people up.
Yeah,
It seems like that there's a lot of. It seems like there's just a lot of. How can we make this as gory as possible? Oh, we'll just explode that head. Or how can we make this as gory as possible? We'll just completely explode that person. So it's extremely gory. I think this one's a lot more gorier than the first season.
yeah,
And they do kind of go hard um, on the females taking the lead in this one.
yeah,
It goes quite heavy on female leads in this one, and I think there's quite a bit of a kind of like a feminist kind of portrayal of this season, which I don't mind at all. But it was it's enjoyable. It's a good. I mean, if you like the first season, you're probably going to like the second season. Carl Urban's accent is still shocking.
shit.
It's just stop trying. If I'm being honest, just stop trying to do a British accent because you can't do it. But yeah, Homelander was an interesting one in this season. It dives a little bit more into his head a little bit more.
He is good
with his milk obsession. It's a bit sick. But yeah, this one, I think this one goes a little bit further in all aspects than the first season. I think the first season more of obviously it's a bit of an introduction into everything. And this season goes just that little bit further with everything, with the violence, with the action, the characterization, everything. So it's really, really good. It's good to get into the head of some of these nutcases. Now here, the actor for Homelander said that in season 3, which has already been agreed that it's going to happen, someone asked him to sum up what Homelander's character is going to be like in season 3, and I think he just said homicidal maniac. So I think he's just going to go on an absolute killing spree in the next
rampage.
Season. Yeah. So until
rampage,
it'll be interesting. The next season will be interesting.
Cool. My Frank Grillo sort of binge watch on the plane involved this. So this was not a film. It was more of a documentary. So he goes to different countries to understand different types of martial arts, and these are all in sort of areas of poverty. And it's interesting to see that fighting is a way out for people to sort of learn martial arts and to earn a living for their families. So you had people who were drug addicts who were sort of on the wrong path, and then when they'd gone into whatever martial art they were doing in that country, it took them in the right direction. They were then able to sort of earn money for their family, and it was quite sort of daunting to see these countries of where the poverty is that bad, and that's what they're sort of resorting to. But yeah, it was really interesting, all the different ones, and some real sort of scary characters on there. I think there's only 4 or 5 episodes, but yeah, it was a great watch, and because I love my martial arts and stuff like that, it's a good take on it. And the good thing about Frank Grillo is he doesn't just go over there and watch it happen. He actually goes in there and does it with them, and spars with them, and and trains with them and stuff like that. And so I was watching, he goes to Mexico, and I watched the behind the scenes with him, and he said in Mexico he went to an area of where if we was to walk in there, we would get killed straight away, just because we're not a part of that city. And he said that the person he was walking around the city with said to him, "There's 400 eyes on you at the minute, but because you're with me, nothing's going to happen." And in all these countries, he had these sort of people who were like, "Yeah, we'll look after you. Nothing's going to happen." But he said he felt sometimes a bit worried when he was there, but they made him feel welcome. So and he feels that was because he sort of went in there and he was fighting and sparring with them. So they felt like, oh, he's not coming to just take the piss or just do whatever he's doing. He's
Yeah.
actually mucking in and showing that he's actually interested.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really good show. And if you haven't watched it and you like that type of thing, go watch it. And then the other one, the last one for my Grillo binge, was Wheelman on Netflix. Really surprised me, this film. So it's in the vein similar to um, the Tom Hardy film Lock,
Mm-hmm.
where he's in the car. But it's a bit more sort of fast paced and a bit more action. So it's all very focused on him in the car, and the deal's gone wrong, and he's getting all these phone calls. They're telling him what to do, and he's got to go places and stuff like that. Yeah, really fast paced, really good, intense. Yeah, enjoyed it. It's like a popcorn film. Nothing
Yeah.
that's going to blow you away, but it's worth a watch if you're an action buff.
Cool.
So yeah,
Kev,
decent.
Kev, just noticed that you're in the room as well, mate. Nice to see you. Also, I watched something else as well. It was something that I thought I might as well watch. I've got some time. I'll watch it. It's
Oh,
Borat 2. I'm not gonna lie. The first Borat didn't strike me as
can we pop that
it
picture
did.
back up again?
Absolutely.
Oi, oi.
Oi,
Yeah,
oi.
correct.
Oh, look you are. Yeah, the first Borat film I didn't take to as much as the rest of the world. Everyone absolutely loved the first Borat, and it was good. And it was, it served its purpose. I enjoyed this one much more. I think it's probably just because I'm more in tune with what's going on in the world than I was when the first one came out.
Yeah.
So it's got really quite a Sacha Baron Cohen's really, really good. And it is not just in this one, but in all of his shows that he does, he's really, really good at making stupid people do things that he wants them to do without them realizing it. He's really, really good at it. And one of the things that happens in Borat, I don't know one of the things, but one of the great things about this Borat is he makes people play to their own prejudice, which is just it's horrific to see, but it's delightful to see as well, because they don't realize what they are actually doing when they're being just ridiculously like either racist, sexist, xenophobic, over the top in any form that you can get, and they have no idea what they're doing or how they're doing or more importantly, how unbelievably stupid they sound. And I think that's the point. And he's just amazing at doing it. And obviously there's bits of randomness thrown in here, there, and everywhere. A lot of it's a very, very cringe-worthy movie, but all in the best ways. Like for a lot of the movie, I was sat there kind of like, no, come on. But yeah, it serves its purpose for what it is. It's not. I don't know. It's not something that everyone is going to enjoy because it's not everyone's cup of tea. I didn't think that I would enjoy the second one because I wasn't really that bothered about the first one. I think most people were just like more bothered about the fact that he was just making people do weird shit in the first one, and he was just making people feel uncomfortable. But the second one, I think, is a better movie for its purpose. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely one that if you're a Sacha Baron Cohen fan, you should definitely watch because he's great in it. He really is good in it.
He's a clever guy. He's got balls to
Super
do whatever
clever.
he does. Yeah, and I don't know if it was Bruno or the first Borat where he sort of uncovered a pedo ring.
I think that was in this TV. I think that was in this TV show that he did.
Oh yeah, it was a TV show, wasn't it? Yeah, of where he asked, "Oh, have you got any little boys?" And they were going to go get him some, and he was like, "Oh fucking hell!" And then I think he said he gave the tapes to the police. So yeah, he's a clever guy. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's a very, very clever man. He knows what to do. He knows how to do it, and he executes it perfectly. So
Yeah,
you get what you know what you're going for, and you get it in abundance. So
definitely.
yeah, if that's your kind of thing, and you like him and what he does, just go watch it, because it's actually really funny as well. Like, it's not just cringy. It's not just watching people be arseholes. It's actually really funny. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
Brandon, is that for the next video? Is it next fragrance review? Brandon's in a mankini.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, the mankini fruit.
Filth.
Yes.
I'm going to
BC,
catch up on these comments.
how we doing? Shall we go on to the boss man?
Yeah, so I was absolutely
Connery.
shocked yesterday. I actually found out just as I was on my way to Alton Towers. Got in the car, and I was like, oh yeah, Sean Connery's died. I'm like, what? I mean, the guy was 90 years old, so he's had a really long, really, really long life. But it's still quite shocking to hear, someone as prolific and as awesome. He's a boss as Sean Connery. It hits hard when you hear it. You just kind of like, it stops you dead in your tracks.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been in some fantastic movies. He's some people's one and only James Bond, for very good reason. But yeah, it's a sad thing to hear. Sad thing to hear.
What so I'm going to pop up some of my favorite movies from Mr. Connery. This just made me laugh. Oh, Tower sounds racist. It does indeed. Shot caller. Not heard of that. First film, The Rock. Awesome film. Awesome film. I think I was watching this initially first for Nick Cage, back in the day, but then I think Connery sort of stole the show in this film. And I'll always remember that sort of Ferrari chase where he's in the, I think he's in the Humvee, Connery, and then Cage is in that Ferrari just busting it out. Yeah, just an awesome film. Really love The Rock. Do you have a favorite from Mr. Connery?
I think it's hard to pick a favorite, if I'm being honest, because he's been in quite a lot of really, really good movies. One of them that stands out to me is, I really, really enjoy it. It's a movie called Entrapment.
Oh yeah,
him and Catherine Zeta-Jones, with the heist, and it's just one of those really, really entertaining movies, and it's got a couple of twists and a couple of turns in it and stuff like that. It's just. I mean, I've not seen it in a very, very long time, but it's kind of like one of those movies where you mentioned Sean Connery, like it's like one of the first movies that pops up for me. Yeah, I really, really enjoy Entrapment. Another good one that Sean Connery's in that I really enjoy. This bad boy here.
Yeah,
Untouchables.
love the Untouchables.
There's some acting talent in this movie. De Niro's Al Capone is wicked. Really, really good movie, this one.
This one as well.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, bad man.
Look at that. Bit of Garcia, bit of Costner. Solid cast.
Garcia is wicked in this movie as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're not like the two main movies that I think of. But when I hear Sean Connery, they're kind of some of the first movies that jump out to me. The Rock, Entrapment, and on the Untouchables. Of course, obviously you've got James Bond. Of course, you're always going to associate Sean Connery with James Bond almost immediately. But for a lot of people, he isn't their Bond. That's probably due to a generational thing more than anything. He's not my Bond, but I think a lot of people, he is the one and only James Bond, and he's nothing else other than James Bond. But each to their own.
Highlander was a right good old classic.
Wasn't he in
cheap.
Dragonheart as well? Wasn't
Yeah, it was
he the
Dragonheart.
voice of the dragon?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. This is a film that I watched again. It wasn't for Sean Connery. It was for Wesley Snipes. And this was Rising Sun. I really enjoyed this. Again, it was a good sort of buddy sort of cop film. Just a great film and a good matchup between these two, which you didn't think would probably work, maybe. But yeah, solid film. Really like that one. Not a lot of people talk about that one. Yeah, it was. I don't think it was a biggish film, but yeah, it was. I enjoyed this one because I think I sort of grew up with that one, and I think my favourite Bond from Connery would be Goldfinger.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I think that was my favourite out of the ones that he'd done. Just because I think there was a lot of cool moments in it. I think one of them there is where she's painted gold, and then you got the laser going up to his balls. There's lots of cool scenes that are happening sort of fairly quickly within that film. Real shame to see him go. I think he stopped making films after the League of Gentlemen film.
Yeah, kind of forgot about that one.
I think he was pissed off with the way that it was made. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't the best movie in the world, though. Really, was it?
It wasn't great. Sean Connery was always beloved by Kim. Every time she talks to my old man, she giggles because she thinks he sounds like Connery. Oh, nice. Pierce Brosnan was the best Bond.
Well, Luke, it's funny you should say that because Pierce Brosnan, a lot of people have their first as their James Bond, like whoever their first Bond is. And Pierce Brosnan was like the first time I watched James Bond, it was with Pierce Brosnan in it. So Pierce Brosnan is my James Bond. Like I feel like he embodies what James Bond is. But yeah, whether I know it is an unpopular opinion, but it's one that I share. I don't know whether or not he's the best James Bond, but he's definitely my James Bond.
War film, Prime CZJ. Indiana Jones. Yeah, I forgot about Indiana Jones. He's the dad, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Connery and Ford had mad chemistry. Yeah. The Rock. Yes. Yeah, I totally forgot about Indiana Jones. Dragonheart was rubbish. We like to be cute, money. Money.
Nice. What do you want us to do? Just shake a titties.
He wants to touch that smooth face of yours, and Hunt for Red October was great. Yeah, that was good.
I haven't seen Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, it was really good. What films was there? Roger Moore. Yeah, I wasn't keen on good old Roger.
No, neither was I, to be honest.
I think he felt a bit older. He wasn't as slick as Connery. I think Connery was quite suave looking with the ladies, whereas I thought Roger was a bit, I don't know, I thought he was a bit older. A bit like Doctor Who. Tom Baker will always be my Doctor.
Never, ever watched Doctor Who. I'm aware of many people that have been Doctor Who, but I've never watched I've never watched one Doctor Who. I mean, a lot of people, that's sacrilege too, but I've never watched any of it.
Should we go on this bad boy? Halloween films.
Okay, so this one I could probably sit here for until tomorrow morning and talk about like scary Halloween movies. We've kind of picked a few that I'm not saying these are necessarily my favorite movies, but these are Halloween movies that I enjoy for various reasons. I think my favorite You can't class it as a Halloween movie. You can class it as kind of a scary movie. My favorite ever movie, as some of you will know, is Jaws. Jaws to me is my favorite ever movie, and that is a scary movie. It's definitely not a Halloween movie, but it is a scary movie. So it depends on your definition of whether or not it's Halloween or it's scary. Because I've chosen scary movies rather than Halloween movies, and I think you've chosen specifically Halloween movies, haven't you?
Yeah. I've gone a bit different with some of mine. I've gone a bit. Some of them are not 18,
Yeah, well, I
but
think
they
that's
make
the
me feel
difference,
they're
isn't it?
Halloween.
That's
Yeah,
the difference, isn't it? Because like I think Halloween movies are more directed at kids
yeah,
or family friendly because it's Halloween. Um, Halloween is a holiday for children. It's not really for adults at all. So that's the difference between it. I think if you got a Halloween movie, it's probably going to be more likely to be family friendly than a scary movie that's probably going to be more directed towards your older people. Isn't Jaws a Christmas movie? Best Christmas movie going, mate.
better than Die Hard.
Fuck you.
I thought Jaws was a Jewish holiday movie. Yeah, that shark in the Santa suit was groundbreaking bad. Trick or Treat, yeah, that's not a bad film. Night Nige, Sleep
Yeah,
Tight.
nice. Yeah. Thanks for dropping on, mate.
So my Halloween sort of 18 films. I always love my Freddy films. I love my Nightmare on Elm Streets. Probably not the latter ones where.
He's looking sexy in
Huh?
that picture, isn't he? He's looking
Oh
sexy in that.
yeah. That one's from part 2, where he's got the sort of sunken eyes and he's looking a bit gruesome. But yeah, I always like the earlier Nightmare on Elm Streets up to probably 1 and 3, maybe 4. But yeah, love my bit of Mr. Krueger. But yeah, for the sort of softer films, these are the ones that sort of remind me of Halloween or make me feel like it's Halloween. So the first one is Death Becomes Her. Great film.
I don't
Have you
think I've
seen it,
ever
Andy?
seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it, you know.
Great film. Yeah, it just makes me. It just feels Halloween. This one, don't know why. But yeah, BC's just mentioned the other one.
Hocus Pocus, baby.
Hocus Pocus.
Great
I
movie.
think they're making a sequel. I think they're making a
Yeah, they
sequel for
are.
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the actresses are returning as well.
be interesting to see what they do. Especially because they're quite older now, aren't they?
Mm.
So they won't look. I can remember Sarah Jessica Parker. I used to be like, oh my god, she's fit.
I remember finding out that was Sarah Jessica Parker and me not being able to really comprehend it, like because I didn't know it was Sarah Jessica Parker until a long time after I'd first watched it. Like I used to love watching Hocus Pocus when I was younger. I had no idea who was who at that age, but then when I realised that was Sarah Jessica Parker, I was like, "What? Like that's the same woman in Sex and the City? Are you having a
Yeah,
laugh?"
I know. I was surprised at that. What was JJ put? I got my youngest to watch Freddy the first time a couple of days ago. Scared him. My boy likes Mike Myers though. Yeah, Mike Myers is good. And then the other one would be Beetlejuice.
One of the best movies going, mate.
Love Beetlejuice. You
Keaton
cannot
and
top.
Beetlejuice is just incredible.
I think I don't know, just the way that it's made and just there's not that much apart from probably the snake in the film. There's not that much CGI. It's all very practical. The faces and stuff like that. Yeah, I just love it.
Yeah,
Just love the vibe.
It's so creative. That scene where they're warping their face and takes the eyes out. I've always loved Beetlejuice. It's one of those that I've grown up with. And I absolutely love Beetlejuice. And there's actually a scene in Batman, in Burton's Batman, where Keaton, the Joker, walks into the living room, and Keaton is facing off with him, and he picks up the fire stoker thing, and he smashes it, and then he starts shouting, and it's just there's a couple of words that he says. I think he says, "Come on, let's get nuts" or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's the same voice that he uses for Beetlejuice. And whenever I watch it, all I can think of is Beetlejuice. Great. It's just I love Beetlejuice so much.
I think they were trying a long time ago to do a sequel, but I think it just never they could. I don't think they could get it right. I think it's probably a bit past its time now to do a sequel.
You would need Keaton back for it, and I don't think he'd do it.
Yeah, no,
because you couldn't have anyone else as Beetlejuice.
They would ruin it. And then the last one, Addams Family. For me,
I never liked it.
Yeah, it's not like one of my favorites, but I think it just feels like a Halloweeny film when it comes on because of the sort of setting, the environment. Raw Julia is an absolute beast in these films. I love him. Great actor. Yeah, Angelica Houston as well. She's awesome, especially in Witches, which
she's great in Witches.
The new film looks absolutely horrendous. So yeah, the Witches she scared the shit out of me when she took all her wig off and she looked horrendous. But yeah,
I'm going to have to correct you there. The new film actually looks pretty good.
No, sorry, no.
I feel like it looks really good.
No, it looks.
I've not watched it, of course, but
pile of wank.
I'm quite on board with it.
No. Hathaway, yeah, she's fit, and yeah, no, it's going to be a CGI fest, and I can see it already. The mice look crap. Yeah, no, I don't like it. Just from the trailer.
Well, my I'll go Halloween. I'll go Halloween pick. Because I've not chosen many Halloween movies, but since we're talking about Halloween, let's talk about Halloween. I've picked the new picture. I don't necessarily mean the new movie. It was just the first Halloween picture I found. Halloween has got to be it's the pinnacle of scary movie for me. And it's not because I find the movies horrifying or particularly scary. The thing that scares me the most is that fucking mask. Is just like it's always haunted me. Like I watched Halloween. The first time I watched Halloween, I was far too young to be watching Halloween. And it is something that Michael Myers has stuck with me forever. Like I still to this day have a reoccurring nightmare about Michael Myers. Even when I'm not even watching it or haven't heard about it, it will just pop up now and again in my dreams. Still to this day have reoccurring nightmares about Michael Myers running around the same house every single time. I think I need to speak to a therapist about it.
Are you a screamer?
No, I actually just wake up like sweating. Like seriously, it's I think it's traumatized me. But yeah, Halloween is one of those movies that I know that they're not the best movies, especially as they progressed. They just got naturally worse and worse as they went on. The kind of like the new Halloween movie that kind of retconned pretty much all of the others was okay. It wasn't too great, but it was okay. But yeah, like every time that I see it, I just kind of like tense up a little bit because I'm just like, oh shit. Because it's like when I was younger and it got dark, especially at this time of the year when it gets darker earlier, I would look down the street and any person that I saw coming towards me, I instantly thought was Michael Myers. So I was terrified of going out at night. So in that aspect, I think it's done its job. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But the problem is I can never not watch it if it's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Halloween H2O and Halloween Resurrection are always on TV around about this time of the year. And they're probably some of the worst outings for Halloween. But I can never not watch them, especially for Halloween Resurrection with Busta Rhymes doing some kung fu shit. That's some awesome stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm a glutton for punishment on that one.
I think Heather's watching some Thailand videos. Some lady
girls
boys
with balls.
So is it that time of night over there? Sleepy Hollow is very offensive towards the beheaded.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow. I love Sleepy Hollow. Ichabod Crane.
Mm.
I haven't watched Sleepy Hollow in so long.
I watched that in
I
the cinema. It was
I
good. It was good.
really enjoy that. Christopher Walken is terrifying in that movie.
I think Depp just reminds me when he does them Burton films. I always see Scissorhands. He
Yeah,
always makes
him
his
and
face white.
there is a massive comparison between Ichabod Crane and Sleepy Hollow and Edward Scissorhands. They look very, very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever he dons the kind of like white makeup, you just think of Edward Scissorhands, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a banger, by the way. Edward Scissorhands doesn't get nearly enough appreciation.
Edward Scissorhands shit me up when I was younger. Even though it's like a PG film and he's comedy, I didn't see the comedy when I was younger. I just
He
saw
just
the
saw some
hands.
creepy
And,
guy with hands.
yeah, he
with
just
hands
looked
in his
fucking
hand.
weird coming out of the shadows in the roof in a creepy house. I was
It's just
like,
he's walking down the street, just like
yeah, he looked fucking scary as fuck. Poltergeist 2. I never got into the Poltergeist films.
Scott. Did you ever watch the remake of Poltergeist? It had Sam Rockwell in it. It was shocking.
Oh yeah, I can remember.
It was really bad. It was really bad. Like the first Poltergeist is. I mean, it's personally, I don't think it's a great movie, but it's infamous. Like everyone knows what the Poltergeist movie is about. Poltergeist movie is about. But the remake was bad. It was bad.
Yeah,
As
I
most
didn't bother
remakes
watching
these are anyway. I do need to watch Adam's Family. I know that I've not, and like I said, I know I said that I didn't like it. It's never really something that I've enjoyed, but I haven't watched it for probably well over 20 years. So
He's patient. Oh, Mr. Hughes has come in with a little mini review.
Yes, all is well. Literally just finished The New Witches. Hathaway goes all out. Octavia Spencer's great, but it has none of the grotesque child horror the first one had. CGI Fest is right. Yeah, you kind of want the child horror kind of thing, don't you? The reveal of the witch in the first The Witches is something that stays with you forever. If you watch that as a child, that is something that will stay with you forever because it's incredible. And it's terrifying.
You know what it also was? Just that there was just simple stuff in the original where it was just where she's staring and she's got the purple eyes. Just even that, just changing the colour of the eyes and a sort of death stare type of thing.
But I think it's synonymous with your age, though, isn't it? Like you will watch it when you're that age, and it will instantly fuck you up, like it does with me with Halloween. Like something that just stays with you when you're so young, and probably shouldn't be watching something that quite horrific, even though the Witches is a child's story. It's it's directed at children. That's far too much for children.
Yeah.
That reveal of those witches in the original The Witches are far too much for children. Adam coming in with a hot review. It's well done.
Oh, Adam.
Adam. What lies beneath?
That was Michelle Pfeiffer, wasn't it? With Harrison Ford,
isn't it? Yeah, I think I've only seen it once.
Yeah, it was all right film. I like that one. Buster
Rhymes, mate. Buster Rhymes in Halloween Resurrection is probably one of the funniest things. If you go back and watch it, just his scenes, so unbelievably funny.
Yeah, I didn't even attempt to watch that one, JJ.
No.
I was told about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not even switching that on.
Yeah, I don't want to. Thank you. Yeah, I've heard all about it. Could I watch Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween? I have watched them, and Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the biggest pile of steaming horse shit I think I've ever seen. It's
I think
just
it was
so bad,
dark. It was like I couldn't see what was going on
so
in
bad.
some scenes. Yeah,
It's the first Halloween that they did. I mean, I don't even think it was that good. I don't think it was that great. I mean, Rob Zombie is he's a fan of torture porn, isn't he? Like he loves torture porn.
yeah, it
So I
does.
just feel like it was just over the top for the sake of it. It just felt like a Rob Zombie Halloween movie, which
Yeah.
it was, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Oh, I forgot. I watched another film. Speaking of Rob Zombie, I watched another film called 31. I don't know if
Oh yeah, yeah. I've not
you've seen
watched it.
it.
I know what the film is. It looked
Um,
fucked up.
yeah, it's weird. It's really weird because like it's like it's Rob Zombie because every other word is either motherfucker or fucking or something along those lines, and it's very Rob Zombie esque.
And he puts his wife in every film.
Yeah, she's front and center in every fucking film that he ever does. Um, but like it felt quite tame for Rob Zombie in terms of the kills. All of the kills are pretty muted. Like they're just kind of like hits over the head or stabs to the stomach or I mean there's one really big one. There's one really big one involving a chainsaw or two really big one involving a chainsaw, but the rest of them they're really just kind of dull. Like a guy being stabbed like 4 times in the stomach or something like that and it's just like okay, yeah, being stabbed in the stomach 4 times is pretty bad, but like what you would expect something over the top for Rob Zombie, and it just felt really kind of like I was like, we're gonna get some gore here, and it's just like you didn't really get anything.
Devil's Rejects was not too bad that he made.
I've not seen Devil's Rejects.
What was the there's a film that I've got in my head where they're sort of freaks living in a sort of mountain or away somewhere and they're talking on the walkie-talkie while the people are in the caravan. And
Oh, Hills of Eyes.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, love that one. The first one.
The remake of Hills of because it's an old movie. You've probably seen the remake of it, and then they think they did 2 and 3. It's
first one was good.
I actually really like the remake of Hills of Eyes. It is a messed up movie, but it does remind me of Wrong Turn in elements of it. Have you seen
a little bit, yeah,
with all the kind of the inbred hillbillies and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of that, but which is again, it's kind of like a torture porn kind of movie where it's just you're just waiting for the gory kill. But Hills of Eyes I really enjoyed that.
I'd be very interested to know what Charles' reaction would be to the new Witches film, as there's some imagery in there that is freaky, but it seems a bit more cartoonish.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what Jesus, I'm reading the comments. It'd be interesting to see what a child like. That's why I watched. A friend of mine makes costumes, outfits for movies, and he said the only film he's scared to watch. So, what's that?
That's the Serbian film.
Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I don't. I think.
Yeah, I think sometimes, the intrigue is there to see. Yeah, we know it's fake, and how far can they push it? But then, I don't know. Sometimes you don't want to watch stuff in case it puts you in a shitty mood, or I don't know,
stays with you forever.
yeah, it's just a scene that's lodged in your memory. But yeah, I'm guessing you enjoyed it then, JJ.
Andy, we reviewed Halloween Resurrection this week as part of a special episode. Busta Rhymes is by far the best part of that film. The bit where he just tells Michael Myers off for 5 minutes. Yeah, it's just this is why you need to watch. If you've not watched it, you just need to watch Busta Rhymes' scenes, because he literally goes in there and he's like hitting Michael Myers on the head, like telling him to go in the back and stuff like that, because he thinks he's someone else, and then he starts doing like random kung fu, and he's just like this weird reality TV host, and it's just so bizarre. It's just so strange. It's like, why Busta Rhymes? Why?
Busta. You got some other films on your hand?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting people's take on this. So, speaking of like scary movies, I think the main kind of Halloween scary kind of movie for a lot of people, The Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Now, I haven't watched this in a long time, a long time, and it'll be interesting to see if this still holds up today. I don't think it will. I don't think it's aged very well at all. Um, because there's some things in it now that you watch it and they're quite laughable. Like, you know, the bit where she like turns her head round and stuff like that. Like, I think a lot of people will find that quite laughable. But when so I'll tell you a story about The Exorcist. So when I first watched The Exorcist when I was 13 years old, and me and a couple of my mates were staying around his house, and we got The Exorcist. We were like, "Oh, you're gonna watch The Exorcist? It's gonna be wicked." And
Porn.
yes, oh, yeah. And we put it on, and I think it was around Halloween that we were watching it as well. So it added to the kind of like the scary bits to it. And we put the DVD in, and we were watching it, and we'll go it. But the disc wasn't quite clean. I think we rented it. I think we got one of my mate's dads to rent it from Blockbuster for us. But the disc wasn't quite clean. So at times it just kept on jumping and skipping. And at times it would just completely pause. And I think it's like 3 or 4 times in The Exorcist where a subliminal face pops up. I don't know if you can remember it, but there's a subliminal face that pops up. And for those of you that don't know what this face looks like, this subliminal face pops up every now and again. I can't look at it for too long because it still scares the fucking shit out of me. It pops up when she's having kind of like these like fits and stuff like that. And the DVD was, like I said, was skipping and sometimes pausing. But as that, you couldn't have timed it, and I couldn't make this up. But as it popped up, it paused and it stopped. So all we could see was this face on the screen, and we were absolutely cacking our pants. Like I didn't want to move, but one of us had to then go up to the DVD player to eject the disc to clean it because it just wasn't going ahead, and none of us would move. So eventually, like I think it was my mate ended up having to kind of like creep up and eject the DVD. But yeah, like that will stay with me forever. That face, I still can't look at it now. It still creeps me out.
Yeah, I think they.
Is everyone else?
Yeah, go on, Ant.
Huh?
I said, yeah, go on. You paused a little bit.
I just don't know that. Yeah, it skips. It skipped then. Has anyone else had the same kind of experience with The Exorcist? I mean, not the same experience, but has anyone else really freaked out by The Exorcist when they first watched it? Or was it just me being a bitch?
Japanese version of The Ring. Yeah, fully agree with that.
Mate, that is weird.
Little Shop of Horrors. Old school. Food Moo. I love that bit of Seymour. Strangers. Yes, I really like Strangers just for the fact that you can sort of put yourself in the situation.
Is that the one where the 2 people are in the kind of like that cabin in the woods, and then there's people like stalking them and with the masks on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it is just mainly sort of noises and shit like that. But I think you can put yourself in that situation if you're there at home by yourself and all this shit's going on. You'd be crapping yourself.
I think I'm right in saying that it's a
true story.
It's a true story, and the family didn't want the movie making.
Yeah, I think so.
And they made it anyway, and they just changed the names of the people.
Yeah.
Because they went to the family before it was made and said, we're going to make it. And they were like, absolutely not. Because no one actually knows what happened to them. They just know that they were found the way that they were found. But no one knows about the events.
Ins and outs.
The ins and outs. It literally could be someone just went in, did it, and then left. So yeah, I can, as their family, being family members of that, I can imagine that I wouldn't want to see that shit. But they made it anyway.
The Conjuring Films. Yeah, I think they're doing a new one. I've seen James Wan talking about doing a new film.
I
So yeah,
really enjoyed The Conjuring 2. Really enjoyed it.
yeah,
And I think the last scene of Conjuring 2 made it even creepier because it's in a house in Britain, isn't it? It's
yeah.
I can't remember what street it is, but it's in a house in Britain, and they're talking about how that the original the poltergeist died in the chair, in a specific chair that was in the house, and then the new owner then died in the very same chair or something along those lines. And I was just like, nope, no, thank you. I need to watch some Disney now.
I liked it because I knew I'd watched something about the case years before they made the film,
Mm.
and heard some of the sort of tapes and recordings and stuff like that. So yeah, I enjoyed the film because of that. Insidious, yeah, Insidious is interesting because I think the sort of the scare notes are interesting because it's like high sort of violins and weird sort of music scares rather than like impactful jump
Yeah,
scares.
yeah, like Insidious.
It's like musical.
Yeah, it terrifies you. The kind of like
Yeah.
jump scare. It's not like a jump scare. It's like like you said, it's a really high pitched kind of like screech. But I think it kind of lends to the kind of scariness that goes on in the movie. Because I really like Insidious 1. The
I
first
did
Insidious
think
I really
I,
enjoy.
I I did think the sort of monster thing at the end was a bit weird because I thought
Mm.
it looks a bit of a mixture of Darth Maul and Freddy
I
blended
remember
together
when I first saw that monster, I said the very same thing. I was just like, "That's just Darth Maul."
with a Freddy hand. Have you seen Return of the Texas Chainsaw? Another one I watched this week. One of the funniest films I've ever seen. Renée Zellweger.
No,
I've not seen that one. I
Matthew
can remember seeing the
McConaughey.
first one. I need to check that one out. Didn't know them two did a Texas Chainsaw film.
I quite enjoyed the remake of Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, that was good. I
Is it
enjoyed that
got
as well.
the one with Jessica Biel in it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Where are we?
What's one of you? What's one of your other films?
This is So I went. I was. Amen, brother. Amen. So yeah, when I was thinking of scary movies and what kind of like horror movies I like, I was trying to think kind of like Hollywood movies. I was thinking about movies that I saw as a child. But then I was thinking kind of like, are there any kind of like British movies that I quite like? And every time I think of a British horror movie, the one thing pops into my head every single time, and I absolutely love it. And it's this bad boy here, Dog Soldiers.
A bitch of a werewolf movie.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Good film.
Fucking love this movie just because of how absolutely outrageous this movie is. It's one of those that I can't not watch, and some of the lines in it, it's just incredible. Like, there's a man about to be eaten by this huge demon wolf fucking dog soldiery type thing, and he says, "I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp." It's like, what?
It is good. I can remember watching it the first time. I was like, oh, this is all right, actually.
And the guy that spends literally the entire movie with his intestines hanging out.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's wicked.
REC is a great film, or Rec, whatever
Wreck,
you
yeah,
want to say.
the Spanish one.
Brilliant. Yeah, the sort of zombie one. And number two is decent as well. I can remember watching it. I was like, oh, this is great film. I think I've actually got it on DVD. Yeah, love it.
Barry, which It are you talking about? Are you talking about the original miniseries? Are you talking about the remake? Because I really enjoyed the first remake. It too was shit, but the first
I
one,
turned it off.
It too
Turned
was
it off.
crap. But the first one was really good. Skarsgård was fucking wicked in it, and all the actors in it were really good. But number two was just unnecessary.
Child's Play, yeah, really good film. Love a bit of Chucky.
You know, the first Chucky movie that I got introduced
Yeah,
to was
didn't
what
say
was it?
Bride of Chucky.
I think it was The Bride of Chucky.
Oh,
I
fucking
think
hell.
it was. I think it was The Bride of Chucky. And there's always one scene in it that makes me that I think of. There's only one scene that I can really remember. Is a guy stepping out from behind a van into an oncoming truck, and it's literally his body just kind of like explodes as this truck hits him. Yeah, it's the only one thing I can remember. It's just ridiculous.
I used to love Child's Play 3, where he's in the military, in the army, and he's just taking people down in the army. Very
Terrible.
good. Blair Witch is. I like Blair Witch because I've said it in a review that I've done before. I watched it in the cinema and I had to leg it through a park at midnight after I watched it. I absolutely crapped my pants because I couldn't get home without going through this park. So I bombed it as fast as I could. Yeah. Paranormal Activity.
Mate, first time I watched Paranormal Activity. So I watched Paranormal Activity. I think it's you that told me about Paranormal Activity. I watched the first one when it was out on DVD. Scared the living shit out of me. And by the time that I'd watched the first one, the second one had come out at the cinema. And I went to see the second one in the cinema and I squealed at one point. Like it freaked me out. It's one. I think there's one scene in the second one where it's in the middle of the day, and I think this is the thing that freaked me out because everything that usually in the first one, it all happens at night, doesn't it? It's sort of like a night vision camera and stuff like that. But this is in the middle of the day, and the camera it's in the kitchen, and there's a woman standing there in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, like all of the cupboard doors and the drawers just fling open. And it's just so loud, and I squealed so loud in the cinema.
I think the first one for me is where she gets dragged out of the bed because I always have a fear of having my feet outside the bed, thinking someone's going to touch my feet, even though no one's there. It's always like if someone touches my feet right now,
you never sleep with your foot hanging off the side of the bed or anything like that. You just can't. That's just you can't do it.
Sometimes I will, but then I think if someone grabs my foot, I'm gonna have to pull off some Van Damme kicks and scream like a girl. Both at the same time.
The second one freaks me out, like with the moving with the baby, with the demon dragging the baby. I mean, that's just too much. That's just too much. I mean, even if you don't have kids, like when I watched it, I didn't have kids. Like the thought of me watching that now, I'm like, oh my God. It's just like, that's just too much. It's just too much. But some of the other Paranormal Activities are really good. Like number 3, I didn't really like, but number 4 was, I think number 4 was the webcam version of it. It was kind of unfriended kind of style. I really quite enjoyed that one.
What freaks me out in some films as well is you don't necessarily need to see something. It could be that it's a dark room, but then you hear like a fucking voice, which is a fucking horrible voice, where it's like or shit like that. And that sort of shit freaks me out, where you can't see it, but you can hear it, and it sounds fucking horrendous. Yeah. If you see it, then you're like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. It's that where it plays with your imagination type of thing. Babadook. Yeah.
Babadook. A load of people, like I remember when it came out, like I watched it and I was just kind of like, okay. But loads of people rave about Babadook. But I just didn't really get it. Like the child just fucking annoyed me in it, if I'm being honest. Just like really annoyed me. Really, really good actor, but like just annoyed the shit out of me when I was watching it. And I just didn't really get it, if I'm being honest. Like I just didn't really find it entertaining at all. Jaws is, if that Lizzie, let me talk to you right now. If Jaws is your kind of jam, that's all you need. That's the only jam you need on that toast.
Jam and marmalade.
That's the only jam you need. Jaws is just
Lost Boys.
It's almost a perfect movie, Lizzie. Jaws is almost a perfect movie. Lost Boys.
Anthony, thanks
Yes.
for joining us, mate. Yes.
Dog Soldiers is a baller of a film. Yes, you are correct, Andy. Well done. Dog Soldiers is a baller of a film.
Did you have
So
some more horror, Ant, in your list?
I do. I know. Like I say, I'm quite a fan of horror. I won't go over this for too much, but this is kind of like a Halloweeny kind of movie, simply because of the theme within the movie. Defined its own genre and is just one of the best ideas for to be fair, some people don't even class it as a horror. It's more of a I don't even know what people class it as, but it definitely is a horror for me. But it defined
I'm
its own
hoping it's not
slasher.
one I'm looking at.
It defined its own slasher genre, really. Scream, baby. It's just
Johnny Depp in the front.
there he is. I mean, I don't know how you can not love this movie. I just don't know how you can not love it. I absolutely adore Scream, just because of how clever it is. It's just really, really clever. You know, when you sit back and actually watch it and you see what they're actually doing with it and how they've taken it, rather than just watching it of a, who's going to die next in a horror movie. It's actually really clever. And because they're telling you exactly what they're doing, they're telling you all the rules of the game, they're telling you how it works, and you still have no idea what the fuck is going on. It's just really, really clever. The first three are, I would say, are solid. Like number 2 ups the gore, but it tells you that it's up in the gore. Each time the films come out, they tell you exactly how they're doing it, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. And that's what makes it really quite interesting, because you don't know who to trust or when to believe what's being told, because you just assume either everything is the truth or a lie, and you can't really differentiate between the two. Scream 4. I don't know. What did you think to Scream 4? Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I think that the problem Scream had was when it first came out, it was a scary film. And I think the issue it then had was Scary Movie then came out and made it into a big parody. And you started seeing it turn up in Budweiser adverts, and it was like literally everywhere. So that sort of diminished the sort of scariness to it. But the first one will always be an absolute solid film, and I think for the fact that you expected Drew Barrymore to be a big part in the film, and she gets killed inside like
5 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, was a good take, I think.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued to see why you put another film in here.
They're making number 5.
Yeah, I don't want to see
they're
it.
making number 5. Like, I'll be interested because Courtney Cox is in it as well, and
No,
I mean, she's in them all and stuff. But
I don't want Courtney Cox. She looks amazing in the first one, and she's all Botoxed up now. So
I saw a picture of her the other day, and I'm just like,
her face won't move. So when she screams or whatever, it'll just stay still.
Yeah. But yeah, Screams for me, like I can watch the Scream movies over and over again. The fourth one, I can take or leave it. Like it doesn't really matter to me. Like I can happily like completely disregard the fourth of ever existing, because it doesn't make a difference, does it? Really?
No.
It's just a Scream for a newer generation. That's all it is. That's all it is. But even the motives and everything don't make sense. Like all the motives for every other Scream killer kind of make sense. This one just doesn't, and it's just like, yeah, we just want to do this. Why not? But yeah, let's just catch up on some of the chat, and then we'll go over one last movie that I've got in here. So yeah, I've noticed that you Dinosaur Man have been covering quite a few horror movies that have come out this year. I've not actually watched any of these new horror movies, but I think they're all like Netflix.
Yeah, I'll have to check them
movies,
out.
aren't they? Oh, Heather, Severance. Is that the one with Danny Dyer? I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
that's
I
the one
think
with
it
Danny
is.
Dyer. It's great. Barry, wash your mouth out. Once you've seen Scary Movie, Scream just isn't scary. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, like, I know that it was kind of like touted as a horror movie and stuff like that, but I don't see Scream as a scary kind of movie. I don't. It's just a
Anthony. Are you back now? You broke up then. You look. Can you hear me? You look a bit stoned. Can you breathe in, Anthony? Can you hear me, Anthony? Anthony. Can everyone else hear Anthony? Or is he just froze for you like he is for me? He's got his serious face on. Gremlins. Love Gremlins. Especially the first one. Again, yeah, that would be totally forgot about Gremlins. I'd put that as a Halloween movie. Definitely. Totally forgot about that one. What else we got? Disturbing Behavior. I've not watched that one. Who's in that one, Heather? That's Anthony's serious face. He's coming back now. There he is. Hello.
I apologize for the technical difficulties there. My internet is absolutely shit.
You had, can you remember when Neil froze? And he
Yeah.
was like, oh. But you had a serious face.
What have I missed?
No, we're just going over Gremlins, and then we got The Village. Village was decent, just because of how different the ending was. Do you want to go over this last film? Very interested to see why you put this in. Mhm. Anthony. He's vanished. So he's chosen. Don't know why, but I'll pop it up, and you guys can let me know whether you think this is a scary film or not. And I think it's a horrendous film. Jason X. This is a dog shit pants of a film. Don't even know if this is the one where he's in space. I think that's the one where he's in space. Yes, Mr. Hughes, it's Jason X. Absolute pants. I like the original films, but I'm intrigued to see why Ant's put it in this list. I don't know why it would have shit him up, unless it was this naked woman in the sword. I haven't a clue. But yeah, I like the first few of the Jason films, but I think they felt a bit repetitive. There wasn't anything different. I think with the sort of Freddy films, you could go a bit of fantasy, where Jason is just very much the same. Yeah, I think this was the space one because he's got this stupid mask next to his machete. I don't even think I bothered even watching this one. I can remember thinking, why has he gone into space? Here he is. He's coming back now. He can explain to us what was going off here.
I apologize. Speaking of gremlins, there seems to be some gremlins in my internet connection.
I've just been ripping the shit out of this film, so you can
Mate,
explain to us why you love this film.
okay. It is so when I was thinking about different horror movies, like the Friday the 13th kind of series just popped into my head, and I was just trying to think about which one I like and why I like it and whether or not the remake is there. And then I just kind of remembered Jason X, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. And the reason that I put it on here is because I knew that a lot of people would slate it because it objectively it's a shit movie, right? It's just shocking.
Was there
But
boobs in it?
I mean, I think there was. I think there was 4 boobs in it. I think there was a total of 4 boobs in it. I think I can't even remember. To be fair, it's that long ago. But it's one of those movies that it's terrible, and I know it's terrible, and everyone knows that it's absolutely terrible. But I can't help but love it because it's ridiculous. Like this, the bit where the android, I can't remember her name, but like she's like the android robot where she's like just goes on like this like killing spree when she realizes that she's like this fucking awesome thing rather than just a normal android, and then she goes on this like extra like Jean-Claude Van Damme with guns.
What, Jason has a tag team partner, does he?
Huh?
Jason have a tag
Have you
team
not seen
partner?
it?
No, I didn't bother watching it. I thought he's
Mate,
in
okay,
space.
I'm,
No,
ta-
I'm not fucking
I'm
doing that
talking to you
shit.
like you've watched it. Okay, so it's obviously basically it's set in the future. And what happens is I'll go over the plot. Okay, it's quite exciting. Okay, so so it starts off in like present day, and a woman is running away from Jason, and he's about to kill her, and she traps him in this like cryo chamber, and he freezes. And then in the future, they live it like Earth is just completely abandoned, and they live in like spaceships and shit like that. And they go back down to Earth and they find this cryo chamber and they bring him back onto this spaceship. And he's like 200 years old or something like that. And they're like, oh my God,
Is he Demolition Man?
and kind of. And they're like, this is like the oldest guy in the world. Like he's going to be worth a fortune. Not realizing it's Jason Voorhees. And then he literally goes around this spaceship, like just destroying and killing everyone. But there's this kind of like cyber, a woman that's a robot, essentially, like an AI. And she's there just kind of like this bloke's made her. I think it's kind of like a sex AI kind of thing. Like he's built her to be his like sex doll. And but like when they're like fleeing for their lives, she like kind of like has this like epiphany where she's like, actually, I'm a robot here. Like I can do all this awesome shit. And then like she's like this normal kind of like AI that's just like like plodding around, and she's not anything special. Then all of a sudden she becomes this like awesome badass and like kits out in this kind of like PVC outfit, and she's like doing these like cartwheels with these machine guns and everything.
Sounds like soft porn.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think to be fair, there's bits in it that could be classed as soft porn. And but Jason, like, because they're in the future, there's these like nanobots that fix people if they get injured or anything like that. If they get your arm chopped off, these nanobots would like sew your arm back together. And Jason ends up pretty much getting like blown up by this AI, and he falls onto these nanobots, and then they turn him into this kind of like super Jason.
God.
Yeah, and it sounds horrific because it is absolutely horrific, but it's one of those movies that I just can't not love because it's just ridiculous. Like I think there's one woman that gets sucked, like she dies by being sucked out of a vent. Like she's being sucked into the space, and there's this like grate on the spaceship, and it's just like little tiny little squares, and she gets sucked out of it. And before she gets sucked out of it, she says, "Oh, this really sucks." And then she gets sucked out. She gets sucked out of his vent, and all you can see on this like little grate is like strands of skin and blood. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. But great at the same time. Like, I love it.
I like the original and I like the remake as well. Of the Let the Right One In. I think both are decent. Shall we go on to the next topic? And
Let's do it. It's the best one. Oh wait, it's not the best one. Hang on, it's not the best one. It's almost the best one.
Almost.
I mean, this is a pretty good fucking topic. I'm not gonna lie.
So apparently, Mr. Garfield and Tobey
Tom
Maguire
Holland
coming back.
is.
Tom Holland is. Come on, Anthony. You've left us on a cliffhanger. Tom Holland is. Oh. Anyway, Spider-Man 3. We're getting potentially a Spider-Verse of where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to appear in the film with Tom Holland. I don't know if this is going to link in with Doctor Strange. I don't know if it's going in that sort of route of where they're sort of going to be able to sort of come back and bring the old school Spider-Man back in. So yeah, if they do, I'm looking forward to it because I like both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I really liked Andrew Garfield. Here he is. Hello again.
I'm sorry, the internet that I'm having some fucking issues at the minute.
You went. Tom Holland is and left us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, so he's. You've probably gone over it, so yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So I just said I don't know if they're going the sort of Doctor Strange route where he's going to sort of take Spidey through a multiverse. I don't know.
Yeah,
how they're going to do it.
So the whole thing's come about with Jamie Foxx, hasn't it? And Jamie Foxx has obviously been recast as Electro, but I've heard that it might be like a Spider-Verse, like a Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing. Like I don't think it's ever been. I don't know if it's been confirmed that he's going to be Electro in Spider-Man 3. I know that he's been recast as Electro, so it could be that he is in the new Spider-Verse movie as Electro, like voice. Or it could be this. Now, if it is in the movie, that obviously adopts into the whole Spider-Verse being an option, which then does lend into the whole, like you said, Maguire and Garfield kind of all meeting, which I think like the entire kind of like internet wants. Do you actually want it?
I'd like to see it. I think it's just interesting to see how they put all three of them. I think seeing the cartoon of it, I really enjoyed them all sort of mixing together. So yeah, I would like to see it.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know because like I like each Spider-Man and Peter Parker for their own kind of thing. I know they're technically like different things, but I just don't know if I want to see them all together. I don't know. Like Garfield is far. I mean, to be fair, Garfield.
You still here, Anthony? Did anyone else hear Anthony have a little paddy? You went, fuck! So yeah, I think I would be... Would you guys like to see the 3 Spider-Men in one film? He is committed to this bit. So these bits are going to be his favourite bits, and he keeps cutting off. Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do with the Spider-Man film. I do like them in general. I think the last one was really good with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he does need to buy his own internet. He's bought a box in his room to try and make his internet faster, but yeah. Should we set a Patreon up and for you to get better internet?
Mate, tell me about it. It's doing my Sweden.
Get some fiber optics.
It's doing my absolute nothing.
So yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I'd like to see it. And I'm guessing you don't want to see it.
It's not that I don't want to see it. It's I'm not. I don't know how it would work. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm not too sure how it would all come about. So it. I don't know. I don't know. Like I love Spider-Man, so I just don't want them to ruin Spider-Man.
yeah. He's Andy's put. I'm not sure. He's put. I'm not sure how much I want this. I like them all in their separate franchises. Do I want them together? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're all great by themselves. Like Maguire and Garfield are great at their own version of Spider-Man, but I don't know whether or not I want to see them interact. Like I thought Garfield was a great Spider-Man, but I didn't think that he was necessarily a great Peter Parker. I think he was too cool for Peter Parker. Whereas I think Maguire was a really good Peter Parker. But
And a
I
good
don't think
dancer.
but I don't think well, yeah. But I don't think he was quippy or cool enough for Spider-Man. Whereas I think Garfield was too cool for Peter Parker. And I think Tom Holland is kind of like the perfect mix. So I just don't really know if I necessarily want all three together.
It would be
But we'll
interesting
see.
then.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Shall we go to?
Yeah, let's get on to the next topic before my internet just decides to completely fucking blow up. Oh, baby.
Boom shakalaka.
Oh,
So
baby.
been announced that Mr. Leto, Affleck, and Joe Manganiello, Deathstroke are all going back for some Justice League additional footage. And yeah, so I think from what I've seen is that there may be some flashbacks. Well, I've seen two things. So I've seen one where they're saying that they're going to do the nightmare sequence of where Batman's having to sort of work with Joker and Deathstroke. I think it's similar to the animated film. And then also the HBO series of where Affleck will do his own series, but then it will be Affleck against Deathstroke, but then there'll be flashbacks to Jared Leto's Joker of a sort of prequel of showing how Batman bust his teeth out and how Joker's got all the tattoos going on. So I'm guessing, and you're loving this news.
I'm back on. I'm back on this. I'm back on
Oh,
this.
hey, he's
Like,
got the t-shirt ready.
mate. Everyone, or most people that know this know my thoughts on Leto and his Joker. I need it. And the moment that I saw Manganiello as Deathstroke, I was like, I need that on the big screen. Like we got Batman. Like Affleck was a perfect Batman. Like he was great Batman. He was really, really good for that type of Batman. Deathstroke looks fucking incredible, and I need to see that. I need that. But I just need more Leto. I need more Joker to be able to kind of definitively say whether or not he is good or not. I need to be able to work with something because people give him a lot of shit for 11 minutes worth of screen time. Not even 11 minutes worth of screen time. I think he had like 6 minutes worth of screen time. Like people give him a lot of shit for something that he didn't even get chance to do. So this gives him the chance to do something with it. Now, if he goes full in with it, like I've seen a lot of things that him and David Ayer didn't really get on well in terms of creative collaboration, because David Ayer is more of a kind of, well, let's just see how it goes kind of thing, just run with it. Whereas Zack Snyder is really quite meticulous about things, isn't he? He's very, very specific. He's open to collaboration with all his people, with all the actors about their characterizations of certain characters. So I think that collaboration between Leto and Snyder could work really, really well to bring the most out of this character. It might change him slightly from what we know from Suicide Squad, but that's bound to happen anyway. So it'll be really interesting to see.
I think they're linking the Ayer cut to the Snyder cut. So I think they're working on the Ayer cut behind the scenes
Yeah,
for both films to link together properly how it should have been originally.
yeah.
And then I think you'll then get that full Joker transition into Justice League.
That's what we
I think,
need.
yeah.
That's what we need.
And I think, have you seen the pictures of Joe Manganiello with his new hairdo?
With his hair, yeah. So he's
Yeah.
definitely. I'm just waiting for Leto to put something on Instagram or social media feed of something, just giving us something, because he's been like, I follow, obviously I do. I follow Jared Leto on Instagram, and there's not a shred of evidence that he is returning as the Joker. Whereas like Joe Manganiello has been quite out there with it. You know, he's seen him with his hair. There's no way that he could be doing anything other than that with that hair. Oh, God's sake.
For God's sake, he's kicking off. Yeah, if you haven't seen Joe Manganiello, he's got a different hairstyle to what he had at the end of the theatrical Justice League. So he's got it like full on, shaved around. Yeah, I don't think it's lit as of yet, but a special effects company sort of said they are working on it when they shouldn't have, and then I think it was took down. So I think it has been agreed behind the scenes, and I think they're working on it, but I don't think they've officially announced it. So yeah, I think Joe Manganiello. I would really like to see an Affleck series with him and Deathstroke going at it and seeing what they do. I think the Snyder had a image released today where he's holding this massive alien gun, which I think Batman's supposed to be sort of blasting the parademons off. Yeah, musical statues just keeps moving around. There's a concept art that I saw online where in the Justice League, you didn't see this in the theatrical, where he walks in to some chamber and he's looking at all the parademons sleeping, and he's just stood all over them and deciding what he wants to do to all of them. And I really hope that that's in the Snyder cut that he's doing at the minute. But yeah, I think it's good. I think bringing them back, I'm really intrigued to see what Snyder does. I know we slated it a bit in our review, just in terms of when we reviewed the trailer. But yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how it goes. And I love when you cut off, because we still get 2 seconds just before you go off, and we hear "fuck," "God," "shit."
Yeah, this is starting to do my head in. I'm gonna Virgin Media are gonna get a strongly worded letter.
Just put all the words that you use just before you cut off.
Just write them up for that. Fuck, shit, internet.
Yeah. See you later, Mr. Hughes.
Mr. Hughes. Yeah, so really looking forward to it. I just want to see. I just want something from Jared Leto, just kind of confirming it. Just something, because I think last time he did a post of the green hair, or his hair being cut, or the outfit, or something. Just gives us a little bit of a snippet that he's on board, rather than it just being from reports or rumors. Hearing it from the horse's mouth goes a long way.
BC, I think defo a scene with Batman. I think either we're going to sort of see a head-to-head with Batman and Deathstroke leading into something else, or Leto's in there for some flashbacks, probably showing how he killed Robin, maybe.
I need them both on screen. I need them both on screen. I need Batman and Joker together. I need that. I feel like I need that, but my body needs it. Like having Leto and Affleck maybe not even a fight, just a conversation between them.
I wanted to see a fight with Leto and Affleck just because of how beastie Affleck looks and how massive he was, and Leto was ripped and looked like he could fight, and I just wanted to see a brawl with them, both of them, just going at it.
Affleck's kind of trimmed down now, though. Have you seen him recently? He's
Yeah.
he's not as bulky as he was, so I don't know if he's trimmed down on purpose or.
I think that even with him being trim, I think it's just his jaw and the suit will look nice, but it'll be bulky when he puts the suit on. BC, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think they will all be in the same scene, or do you think it's just quick, like end scenes or flashbacks? But yeah, I think regardless, Affleck's looking good. He's trimming down, and I want that HBO series coming out. He needs it after he's been shafted on the theatrical Justice League. And I think if they have a series, they can go darker with a series rather than doing it in the cinema. They can take it to a different level, and I think that's what Zack Snyder's doing with the Snyder Cut. I think he will take that to. I think we'll be surprised with what he's going to bring. I think it'll be a lot more violent than we think it's going to be. I don't think it'll be anywhere near as soft as the theatrical. I think we're going to see decapitated heads and stuff like that. I think it will go sort of R-rated almost.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the new Suicide Squad with James Gunn going R, why not do Zack Snyder's being R?
Yeah, you could get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. Are you fully with us now?
Yeah, man, I'm here. It's just I don't know, mate. It's seriously messing up. So I'm gonna have to kind of mess around with my internet settings or something because it's messing up. But I think that's pretty much. I think it's now is probably the best time to call it a night. To be fair, unless you want to see me like completely put a fist through a computer or something like that. So I'll say good night, goodbye, whilst I can before I can cut off again. So thank you very much for everyone for tuning in. We've missed this, but we're going to try and get back on it every week now. Look out for us next week. We'll let you know on Instagram. Probably just on Instagram if we're when we're going to come on. But we appreciate you coming on, and we've enjoyed it. Anything you want to add?
No,
mate?
I think we've got quite a lot of reviews. We've still got loads of reviews that we still need to edit and put out. And I know we've got quite a few to film. Thanks for watching. Go and have a good kip before everyone's got work tomorrow, and enjoy the horrendous weather. Have a nice evening, everyone, and we will see you next week.